rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. Auzu billahi minash shaitanir rajim. Bismillahir rahmanir rahim. Alhamdulillahi rabbil alamin. Wassalatu wassalam ala khatimin nabiyyin nabiyana Muhammad sallallahu alayhi wa alihi wa sahbihi ajma'in. Rabbi shrah li sadri wa yassir li amri wahlul 'uqdatam min lisani yafqahu qawli. Rabbi zidni ilma. Rabbi zidni ilma. Rabbi zidni ilma. Okay, inshallah. Very quickly we'll recap what we learned in the last session and then continue our today's lesson. Last time we started with ayat number 2. Auzubillahi minash shaitanir rajim. Bismillahir rahmanir rahim. Allazina izaktalu alan nasi yastawfun. Who, when take a measure from people, take in full. Meaning, such fraudulent sellers are being hypocritical because when it comes to receiving, they make sure to get their money's worth without any short or cheating. Even though they cheat others, they make sure that they are not cheated themselves. We could extend the meaning today to contractors who are paid by the hour and purposely waste time so that they can get more money, and this is a form of cheating. This is common even in today's time, where we might muscle our way or put pressure to get something extra out of a seller, when that might not be possible for him. And this is also true when the seller is poor and in need. Then in the next ayah, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala says, وَإِذَا كَانُهُمْ أَوْ وَزُنُهُمْ يُخْسِرُونَ. But if they give by measure or by weight to them, they cause loss. And when they measure, وَإِذَا كَالُهُمْ, or weigh items for their customers, they give them less than they are owed. They make sure the other person is in loss. They cheat them with it in some ways. He gives with the feeling, I want to make sure I give him less than he deserves. The meaning could also include those who take advantage of people's innocence and naivety and overcharge them. For example, when a car mechanic invents problem in the car, just so he could overcharge you because he realizes that you are ignorant about the car mechanism. At several places in the Quran Majid, giving of short measure and weights have been condemned, and measuring full and weighing rightly has been stressed. Please note, in these ayat, three terms have been emphasized. Awfu, pay in full. Kail, a measure in volume, and wazan is weight. In Surah Al-An'am, ayat number 152, it has been enjoined, وَأَوْفُوا الْكَيْلَ وَالْمِيزَانَ بِالْقِسْطِ, and give full measure and weight. In Surah Al-Isra, ayat number 35, it has been enjoined, أَوْفُوا الْكَيْلَ وَإِذَا كِلْتُمْ وَزِنُوا بِالْقِسْطَاسِ الْمُسْتَقِيمِ. Give full measure when you measure and weigh with even scales. That is the best way and best in results. The people of Shuaib alayhi salam were punished for the reason that the evil of giving short measure and weight have been widespread among them, and despite his alayhi salam's counsel and advice, they did not refrain from it. Now, the objective of these ayat is not merely to describe the trait of measuring less, but to bring out a certain feature. That is, a person is very sensitive and vigilant that others should weigh and measure correctly for him and would never like any dishonesty in this matter. However, when this very person weighs and measures for others, he has no worry or concern in being dishonest. It is evident from this character of a person that he is not ignorant of the concept of justice. He knows full well that honesty should be observed in both cases at all costs. Moreover, he fully knows that he should not like for others what he does not like for himself. To elaborate the point, one can say that when a thief steals something from someone's house, he would never want anyone to steal from his own house. Similarly, a murderer who kills someone would never want someone be after his life or that of his near ones. Similarly, an adulterer who violates the honor of a lady will never be happy if someone attacks the honor of his own ladies. Now, inshallah, we'll continue from this slide onwards. Further explanation of ayat number 3. In fact, if all these thieves, murderers, and adulterers are inquired to express their impartial opinion, they will even confess that there should be no place in the society for thieves, murderers, and adulterers, and other such criminals. This is very true, because if you go and question them, because many people, they have done the research on these criminals. Sometimes they go inside the prison and they question, these criminals, that do you like somebody else, to murder your family member? And they say, no, we don't like. Do you like, somebody to come and steal things from your house? They'll definitely say, no, we don't like. No, it's the same people. Yeah. When it comes to some people attacking them, taking their things, they don't like it. But they think it's okay if I'll do it. Yeah, it's okay. Because there are many criminals, they have got a long list of things what they have done. And still, they don't mind, keep doing that again, particularly if you look at car thieves, how many cars they have stolen, not just one. They won't stop. First time when they attempt the theft or whatever the crime they're doing, they're a little bit worried, they're a bit shaky. But if they're successful, then they say, oh, this is not too bad. With one attempt, I got so much money. They go for the second one. Still, they are not very happy, they are very careful. And after 3, 4, 5 attempts, they become so professional and they don't give a damn about anything. They don't care about the law. They don't care about the people. They don't care about the society. Yeah. So this is the mentality of a criminal. As I have told you before, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, in his deen, Islam is the deen of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala's punishment is very severe if the impact of the crime is on the society. Yeah. If the crime is within the criminal and between Allah, whatever he has committed within the four walls, whatever short things he has done with Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, It's up to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Allah can catch him, Allah can forgive him. But when the crime is committed in the public domain, then only the punishment is very big. The punishment is very severe. Whether this has been committed within the family, outside the family, within the society, local society, international society, because crimes is not just happening in circle 1 and 2. This is happening up to circle 7. One country attacking the other country, one region attacking the other region. So these are, just not at macro level, micro level, it is at a macro level also. Huge, huge sins. And this is why Shuaib alayhi salam, he started telling his people, because his community was growing. Every day the community is growing. And along with that, the crime of Mutafifeen, crime of cheating was also growing. So when Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala selected him as his prophet and asked him to communicate to those people that this is wrong, what you're doing is not right. And first thing they said, Ya Shoaib, have you gone mad? Are you possessed by a jinn? If you do not stop, telling these things to us, then we'll either kill you or chuck you out of our town. See, this is the attitude of the people. Because it was so widespread and accepted in the society, then it becomes a norm. Yeah, it becomes a norm. Like yesterday in the class, I was giving some example that today in our society, Muslim society, backbiting has become so common. Yeah, backbiting has become so common, even though it is from the kabair, it is a major sin, and we don't care. Sometimes we are not doing it. I'm a wonderful person, so I am not going to do backbiting. But somebody is doing backbiting, I'm not stopping them. If your family members are doing backbiting, it is your duty. Tell them in whatever way you can. Yeah, the polite way, the best way. You tell them that look, the person is not here. Can we not do backbiting? Yeah, it is our duty. Yeah, or if you see one of your brothers or sisters, they have got a job, but they are leaving to job late or coming back early. And if you notice, find out why they are doing this and tell them that your contract is between 9 o'clock and 5 o'clock. Are you leaving early without permission? Why you are doing this? You know, because particularly people who are in government jobs, they do that a lot in Indian subcontinent. It's very common. They don't give, they've got no fear at all. They do whatever they want. And tell them if you're really, love them, tell them, because we don't want to see our own family members in the Jahannam. Now, again, it is coming in ayat number 6. Wait for that, inshallah. We'll discuss a lot about this matter, how serious it is that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is telling every single believer to protect themselves and their families from the hellfire. It's a long ayah. So inshallah, when we go to ayat number 6, we'll discuss more about this. So therefore, it is our prime duty to make sure that we are not involved in tafif. We will not become tafifs. We will not be one of the Mutafifeen. May Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, protect us all. We will not become. Because as I have told you in the last few sessions, that Mutafifeen are not just people who are measuring or weighing. This can be in any aspect of life. Reinforcing again, any aspect of life. So I'll come to that inshallah. You see how the matter is serious with the Sahaba. We'll see that. Such a person will say good people are those who protect the life, wealth, and integrity of others, the way they would desire the protection of their own life, wealth, and integrity. You see, so they want to protect their family, they want to protect themselves. They don't want anybody to attack them, but they can do it. You see, they can do it. You must have seen, this, some people in the society. Yeah, particularly I've seen this in the subcontinent culture. A person is called a Hunda. This is a bad guy, and everybody is afraid of him. So he can come, he can snatch anything from you, he can do whatever he wants. You can't even go to the police. If you go to the police, you are in trouble. Now ask that person, same person, if you are very friendly with him, do you like somebody else to do it? Because it is possible. If he's a strong man, somebody will be more stronger than him. They can come and do the same thing, dishonor him. Does he like you? You see? So such people, they don't like other people to harm them, but they can do it. And they think they have got a license from somewhere and they are allowed, eligible to do this kind of crimes. This attitude of a person and this aspect of this nature bears obvious evidence to the fact that neither does he regard good and evil to be alike, nor is he satisfied with the equal treatment of the two. His impartial verdict is that both should be dealt with in a different manner. He himself will admit that both has to be, dealt differently. See, Allah has given a basic nature. You know, this is the innate nature we are born with. Born with what? Likes and dislikes. We like certain things, we don't like certain things. What we don't like, we don't mind doing to others. This is like a bullying nature. Yeah. Others should not do it, and I can do it. Why? Because I'm a powerful person, whether you're a politician, whoever you are, a policeman, whoever you are, you have got the power and you can do whatever you want. Now think about it. Just, hold for a second and think. Say you're a weak person. A person is very weak, physically, mentally, financially, and if somebody is, muscling in their power and they try to crush this person in whatever type, whether they are cheating him or they are overpowering him. And this poor person, he can't even open his mouth. And nobody is coming for his rescue. You see, this is the problem with the society. When the fabric of the society, the strong fabric of the society, if that is broken, and they're seeing the crime in front of their eyes, and nobody opens their mouth. Nobody opens their mouth. Because if they do it, they know the consequence, what is going to happen. So they're all keeping mum in the society. If it comes to that level, people who are weak, people who are very naive, people who are soft, kind, who are they looking for? They need justice. If they do not get the justice when they are on this earth, when are they going to get the justice? This is on the day of judgment. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala will be just. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, He is going to punish the guilty ones. The guilty ones on that day, they have got nothing. There is no power. There is absolutely nothing they have. Even if they want to compensate for what bad they have done to others, they have got nothing. No dollars, no pounds, no money, no gold, no silver. They have got nothing. They are absolutely bankrupt. And what happens? If they have got some good deeds, Allah will take that good deeds and put in the victim's, balance. An obvious consequence of this is that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala should bring about a day in which He deals with the righteous and the wrongdoers according to the deeds. If He subhanahu wa ta'ala does not do so, it would mean that the righteous and the wrongdoers are equal, despite the fact that this would be against the nature endowed by the Creator to human beings. It is Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala's sunnah. Allah has created like that. So therefore, we cannot say Nauz Billah, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is unjust. Allah is just. Allah is the most just. You must have seen some kind of justice in the dunya. But when it comes to justice with Allah, it is absolute justice, the concept of absolute justice. This is very important. Here in this ayah, it is this human nature which is presented as evidence to prove the absolute certainty of the reward and punishment. You see, we are living in this dunya. Oh, everywhere. It doesn't matter which country you live in, which region you live in, you have got punishment as well as rewards. If you do good things, you get a reward. If you bad things, if you break a law, whatever the law might be, even if it is, in 30 miles zone, you are driving 35 or 40 miles per hour, then you'll be punished for that. If you are doing something good, you'll be rewarded for that. And we want the same thing in the akhirah also. For all our good deeds, I want, all rewards for my good deeds, plus extra rewards I want. That's my nature. I don't want, I want Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala to forgive all my shortcomings. This is what we do, isn't it? So therefore, we have to change our behavior. We have to change our attitude. By doing so, the Quran Majid has actually borne witness against the rejectors of the Day of Judgment who are bent upon denying the warnings of the Quran regarding the Day of Judgment, even though they are not able to deny this evidence of their own nature. You see, if you ask them that, look, you don't believe in the day of, resurrection, the judgment day, you don't believe in it. What if somebody has done something wrong with you? Do you want a justice for that? Do you want the other person who is committing this a punishment? They'll say, yes, we want. And how are you going to do it in the dunya? That's not possible, because that person might be very strong. He must be a very influential person. So therefore, a justice or the day of justice is important, is required. The strongest point is that the objective of this ayah is not meant to just condemn weighing and measuring less, but it is in fact meant to state that the fact that a person is fully capable of distinguishing justice from injustice, as it is indicated earlier. These people who are committing this crime, they're not babies. They're adults. They know what is right and what is wrong. Doesn't matter whether they're believers or disbelievers, it doesn't matter. Because this is a universal law. And every adult, he knows. Every adult, he knows what is right and what is wrong. If he does evil, he goes against the evidence in his nature to fulfill some base desire, whelmed by selfishness. This is very important. Two things: base desire. Some people, when they look at other people, wow, they have got a big house, they have got a big car. I don't even have a car. I live in a shed. So what shall I do? I want to be in that level. If I really work hard, I'm not going to get there. Still, I can't make that much money to do that. What do? They look for shortcuts and they try to steal, rob, whatever they want, they can do it. Or if they start the business, they start cheating the customers. Somehow they want to make more money. Doesn't matter if it is halal or haram. Many of our brothers, so what do? They open a restaurant. In the restaurant, they sell alcohol also. Alcohol also, they'll sell it. And this is also Mutafifeen, these people. They're cheating Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Yeah. So they are mixing haram and halal. So they have got a few things, halal and a few things haram. They say it is required. If I don't do that, if I put all the things which are halal, then I can't make enough money. I can't make a big profit margin. What shall I do? Oh, if I have a counter for alcohol and then I'll ask somebody to deal with that one. And are you doing that free for? No, no, I'll take rent from him. Right. So you are taking the rent for something you're selling haram, something you are selling, lard, or some kind of pork you are selling it, so that you can make more money in that area, because most of them are non-Muslim customers. So it's okay, I can do that. Brother, who has given you this authority? Have you got a certificate from Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala or his messenger or somebody else? Where is this coming from? They say, no, it's okay, I can sell it to non-Muslims, but not to Muslims. Really? So as soon as a person comes through your door, you can say that, Assalamu alaikum, are you Muslim? I'm not going to cheat you. If you're not a Muslim, I'm going to cheat you. Is that your policy? This nature of a human being necessitates that a day come in which the righteous and the wicked are completely distinguished from each other. It will be crystal clear. The good people and bad people on the day of judgment. There will be two groups, group A and group B. If a person denies such a day, then the only reason for this attitude is that he wants to evade facing reward and punishment, even though this is a demand of the nature. They cannot change it. On the day of judgment, they don't have the power to decide where am I going to stand. Am I going to be with group B or am I going to be group A? We don't have the choice. This is automatically done by Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala based on our deeds. Group A and group B. One group going to Jannah and one group going to Jahannam. Who will decide? Allah will decide. Nobody has got the power. And everybody, when they are standing in front of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, nobody even dare to open their mouths. It's all sealed. They can't even speak. So, while explaining this ayah, our Mufassirin have cited a narrative which says that the Ansar tribe was plagued with the evil habit of weighing and measuring dishonestly, and it was this situation that occasioned the revelation of this surah. Allah knows best. So one of the thing, when Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam, when he went to Medina, he emigrated to Medina, then there are many people that became Muslim, particularly from Ansar. Yeah, many people, they became the supporters of Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam. And there are many people, even though they are not supporting, they are not Muslim, but still they're respecting Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam, and they had accepted him as the head of the state. Yeah, just in few years time. So they're very kind people, very kind-hearted people. So they accepted that Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam is their leader, is the governor of Medina. Now, Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam, as his daily routine, he used to go to the market, the Medina market where they were selling things. Then he used to go and find out what is happening. Are you measuring properly? Are you weighing properly? You see, he was doing many jobs. It's not just the job of explaining what is Islam. He was showing practically what is Islam. If somebody is selling, substandard quality, this material or food grain or whatever it is, then Rasulullah used to say, no, you are cheating people. Don't do this. If you want to separate two things, keep them separate. This is grade A, grade B, quality A, quality B. You can price them separately, but don't cheat. This is, he was trying to avoid, people becoming Mutafifeen. However, firstly, this surah is Makkan and not Madinan. Moreover, even if it is supposed that this bad habit was found in Ansar, then it could only have been to the extent that it was found in Makkans also. So they're equal, people, because that was the prevailing situation. People had accepted from centuries that cheating other people is very okay. It's acceptable, no problem. You want to buy from me? You have to, at this rate, you have to buy. and I will give you this much. If you don't want, okay, go. Because the food was very limited. If you really look at, food coming to particularly Makkah al-Mukarramah, only when you go outside Makkah, only if you go outside the Arabian Peninsula, you have to go and get the food, from outside countries, because they could not grow enough food for all the people living there. And these merchants were very rich. If you don't buy from me, then what happens? They will die with hunger because they got nowhere to go. And they say this is 10 dirham, it is 10 dirham. Nobody is selling for 5 dirhams. Where will they go? There's only limited number of suppliers, or you can say merchants. And this was very common there, Makkah also. In fact, there was a much greater chance of it to be found in Makkans because they were generally traders by profession, whereas the real profession of Ansar was agriculture. But nevertheless, this problem was prevailing in Medina also. You see, in both Medina and Makkah. When we say Medina and Makkah, it's not that the other places like Taif and other people were free from that. No, this was a prevailing situation, and that's why Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala at the right time sent Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam to change the society, to bring a change in the society. Allah gave Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam the Quran Majid, the Sharia, so that people can change their behavior. As a consequence, the coming ayat deal with the resurrection. We'll see that inshallah. Now, hadith related to cheating in measures and weights. Abdullah ibn Abbas radiallahu anhuma has narrated that Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam has said, "Khamsa bi khamsa." There are 5 sins for which there are 5 punishments. Number 1. He who breaks his covenant, Allah will cause his enemy to subdue him. This is the first sin and first punishment in the dunya. What happens in the akhirah? That's another thing. That's on top of this. Number 2, the nation abandons the sacred laws of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala and decide cases according to their own laws. What will happen to them? Poverty will prevail commonly among them, because they are not following the laws of Allah. Why will this happen? Just think about it. People who abandon Allah's laws, they have got their own laws. And when they are making their own laws, mostly the law is for the rich people, for the benefit of the rich people and against the poor people. Then what happens? Only few people will become rich and the majority of them, they'll become poor. The nation among whom fornication or adultery becomes rampant, Allah will punish them with epidemics and endemic diseases. You've seen this, yeah? And still it is going around the world, yeah? Like, AIDS was coming, so many diseases coming. Number 4, those who curtail measures and ways. Allah will cause famine to break out amongst them. You see, this is the weights and measures. Allah is very particular. There is a crime and there is a punishment for that. And once again, I'm saying these punishment, Allah will show them in the dunya, as is for the whole society. But for individuals, the punishment is in the hereafter also. They will be part of the problem, the suffering, but they will have special punishment on the day of judgment. And what is the special punishment? They had to go to Wailun. They had to go to the valley of the Wail in the Jahannam. Those who fail to pay zakat, Allah will withhold rain for them. This is cited by Imam Qurtubi, rahimahullah. Another hadith. I am giving you loads of evidences from the Quran, from the ahadith, from the scholarly opinion, so that it can have a deep impact in our minds, so that we should realize the seriousness of the issue. There are many issues. If I talk about alcohol, many people they think, oh, it's okay, we are not drinking, that's okay. Yeah. If we, talk about, blood, not eating blood, okay. So many people they say, oh, we are not eating, that's okay. But there are certain things, there are certain crimes. Look, cheating somebody with 5 minutes work. Yeah. I had to do 8 hours of work. I'm doing 7 hours and 50 minutes. It's only 10 minutes, I can leave early and I got lots of justification under the sun. No, for such people, because you are destroying the strong fabric of the society. That's why there's so many punishments. There's so many ahadiths. There's so many ayats in the Quran. Because these little things, if you take care, the big things, they'll take care by themselves. So be careful about these things. It looks very simple, like a riba, backbiting. It has become so common in our society. Who is avoiding? Nobody. Wallahi, very rarely I have come across anybody who's not doing riba. Very rarely. Maybe 1 in 100. 99 people, we are doing it, some kind of riba. Sometimes they say, oh, this is not riba. I'm just saying that this person has got this. What if it comes under riba? It's a kabair, then punishment is also great. Why don't, again, even for them? Another hadith, Ibn Abbas radiallahu anhuma said, Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam said, when it becomes rampant in a community to steal from the spoils of war, Allah will cast terror of enemies into their hearts. Okay, we may say that, yeah, this situation, uh, we are not part of this situation. No. This situation can come anytime, anywhere, any part of the world. But if that happens and if people are involved, then Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala for the whole community or the person who is stealing that from the spoils of war. Because the spoils of war, you have to remember, unless it is distributed, it is the property of the state. Whoever is managing the state, it is their property. Then from that property, according to your share, so they will distribute. But if you steal from that, that means, say, there is a booty, war booty, and without anybody seeing, you have kept some in your pockets. Yeah, nobody's watching you. Only Allah is watching you. But you did it. Then you say, okay, I got only a shield, I got only a sword, whatever, hand it over. And then when you come home, you have a lot of things with you. That is cheating. That is stealing. You're not supposed to do that. You have to supposed to put it in the main, the treasure of the state. And then from that, it will be distributed to you also. Number two, when usury becomes a common practice in a community, death becomes a frequent occurrence in the society. Usury, the interest in the, from the bank, or if you go take loan from the loan sharks, so they charge you a lot of money. And that's what happens. And this is happening, particularly in Indian subcontinent. If you see, many people, they do take loan from the banks, take loan from the sharks, loan sharks. And then what do? They can't pay, they commit suicide. The whole family is dead. If the person goes, it is as if the whole family, they have got nothing to do. They can't even make their living. So you see in the newspaper, the whole family has committed suicide. A community that gives short measure and weight, Allah cuts off their sustenance. You see, Allah will cut off their sustenance. This is so important. Even though things may be available there, but you can't afford to buy things. Those who decide against the truth, murder becomes common among them. And lastly, those who betray their agreement, Allah causes their enemies to prevail upon them. This is reported by Muwatta of Malik, Rahimullah. It is also recorded in Muwatta of Malik that Umar radiallahu anhu saw a person curtailing, cutting short his bowing and prostration, doing the ruku and sujood in his prayers. He's cutting short. Yeah. When you go to the masjid, you see this. Let me explain this. Umar radiallahu anhu said to him, when he finished the prayers, Umar radiallahu anhu called that person and he said, Lakhat tafafta. You have indeed committed tafif, curtailed the rights of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. You see how serious the matter was. How seriously, this is what I was telling you earlier, how seriously the Sahaba is taking the matter of tafif, the matter not to become a mutafif, how serious they were. This is why when you do the salah, you have to do the salah as you're doing the salah. Not just to, it's a tick box exercise. That, yeah, I did, ruku, I did sujood 1, sujood 2, I did it so fast. You don't even know what you're reading. This is not salah. Wallahi, this is not salah. Instead of doing 12 rakats, 8 rakats, just do 4 rakats, but do these 4 rakats properly. Do it for some time. When I was training my son, I said, just do Fard Salah. Don't do any other Salah. We did it, this for 3-4 years. He got into the routine. Then I said, okay, now you can add 2 rakats in the Maghrib prayer. Then after some time, 2 rakats in the Fajr prayer. You see, if you develop this kind of attitude, this kind of behavior, then people will be relaxed and then do it properly. If you immediately say that you have to do 17 rakats in the Isha prayer, 7 rakats in Maghrib, people, what do? Just tick box exercise. They just do it like, as the hadith says, the crow is, pecking, the stones. That's what they do. Touch and go. This is not proper salah. In fact, if you do that, you are a tafif. You are cheating. Do the salah as Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam has said and shown how to do the salah. This is very important because time and again I have seen, including the people who are leading the prayers, they are making this, serious mistake. They do salah so fast. They read, the ayat so fast. Sometimes the moment, they start, Surah Fatiha and they say, Walad Darling. And you might be wondering what happened in between. Was I sleeping? Why I could not hear all the ayat, the 7 ayat. So they read just in, 2 breaths. This is not right salah. This is why Umar radiallahu anhu, he was very strict. He was watching everyone. He said to him that Lakhat tafafta, you have committed a tafif, curtailed the rights of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. You see, earlier we are talking about the rights of human beings. Now he is telling you are curtailing the rights of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. So therefore, you have to be very careful. Even with Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, you cannot cheat. With human beings also, you cannot cheat. This is a just life. Islam is teaching us a just life. Be good with Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Be good with His creation. This is part of the deen. This is the real deen. Having cited this statement of Umar radiallahu anhu, Imam Malik, he formulates the following assumption. So he said, Likulli shayin wafain wa tafifin. That means everything has a full due and a short measure. So either you can follow the full due, whatever is due to whoever you want, either it is for Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala or for human beings or for anything else. So do the wafa. Wafa means giving full. Whatever they deserve, give them the full. Or you can become a tafif. You can cheat. You can give the short to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala or to human beings or to anyone. It's your decision. You see, we are ashraful makhluqat. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala has given us free will. We can decide whether we go to the right or to the left. It's entirely up to you. What do you want on the day of judgment? You want reward or you want punishment? This applies to prayers, ablution, cleanliness, and all the rights of Allah and the ways of worship. This is from another angle. This is from another dimension to this. The Mutafif, that it applies to everything you do as a ibadah or dealing with the people, whether it is ibadah or mamlat. So in both, in ibadah and mamlat, you cannot cheat. You cannot have a shortcut. You cannot do that. If someone is deficient in fulfilling these rights of Allah, he is guilty of tafif. Now, when it comes to ibadah, if you are cheating Allah, now it's between you and Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. For certain things, Allah can forgive you. For certain things, Allah can catch you. That's between Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. But when it comes to the human being, only the human being as a person you have cheated, he should forgive you. And when is that? If it is in the dunya, that's fine. That's really good. Go and tell somebody, look, I have cheated you. You take this thing back. Please forgive me. That's very, very, very good. And this is a cheap thing. You can finish the matter very cheaply. If you don't do it on the day of judgment, you have got nothing. What do? If you want to even pay back, and the person will say, Ya Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, he cheated me. I want 10 of his good deeds into my account. If everybody is taking 10 deeds, 20 deeds from account, and we'll be pauper, we have got nothing left. The above hadith state that people's sustenance may cut off as a punishment to short measuring. Various forms of poverty, famine, and curtailment of sustenance occur as a punishment. This can take forms such as they may be completely deprived of their sustenance, or sustenance may be available, but they may not be able to eat or use it, as it commonly happens nowadays in the case of many diseases. You see, and they said that no, don't eat that, don't do that, don't do that. And there's no shortage of food, there's shortage of medicine. So many things are happening in the world. Look at many countries in the last few years. Even if you take last 5 years, what is happening in the world at a macro level, at the country level, at the region level, we are witnessing this. And are we taking any moral from this? Are we taking any lesson from this? Likewise, famine might take different forms. Items of necessity might be lacking, or they might be available abundantly, but it might be difficult to purchase them because the prices are unbearably exorbitant, as is experienced nowadays. In many countries, if you go there, some commodities are available, but people don't have money to buy that. If you go to places like Yemen, Syria, Afghanistan, there are many countries, things are available, but how many people can buy that? They don't have money. They don't have any resources. The hadith says that in certain situations, fakhr will prevail in the society. Now, fakhr is generally translated as poverty, but its real meaning in Arabic is being in need or being dependent on someone. In Surah Rum, ayat number 41, it has been said, corruption has appeared throughout the land and sea by the reasons of what the hands of people have earned. So he may let them taste part of the consequence of what they have done, that perhaps they will return to righteousness. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is saying, from the land and from the sea. This is a means of transport. People who have got, power to run their ships on the sea, what do? They have got big muscle power. So, in olden days, when we said here through the sea, it is air also. Because those days there's no aeroplane, the ships are there. So that means things have been transported by land or air or by sea. And those people, they have got big muscle power. They can manipulate other people in terms of becoming tafif is very common. Okay, I have combined ayat number 4, 5, and 6 because the whole thing, if you read, is like one sentence. Yeah. So inshallah, we'll learn about these ayahs separately, but we keep them as one single sentence, a single ayah, inshallah, even though there are three different ayahs. Okay. The first one, ayat number 4, Allah yazunnu ulaika annahum mabusun. Do they not think that they will be resurrected? Ayat number 5, liyawmin azim, for a tremendous day. Ayat number 6, yawma yaqumun nasu li rabbil alamin, the day when mankind stand before the Lord of the world. Now, these ayahs threatening Mutafifeen of standing before the Lord of all that exists. This is why these Mutafifeen, they became Mutafifeen because they did not believe on the day of judgment. Mutafifeen, they became Mutafifeen because they did not believe on the judgment day. They did not believe on their accountability. That's why they became Mutafifin. So now Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is in these three ayat is threatening them that okay, if you think you will not be resurrected, Allah will definitely resurrect you. You have to stand on the great day in front of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, who is the Lord of all Ameen, the whole universe. You have to stand in front of him. This is a big threat. And also, it's a very stark warning. It's very clear. Allah has made it very clear. Let's take the first ayah and let's understand the word for word meaning. Allah yazunnu ulaika. This is interrogative alif, hamzat istifham wa tajjub. It is showing tajjub. Surprise, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is showing. La is not harfun nafi, particle of negation. Together, it is Allah. Yeah. Yazunnu, think. Yeah. Or believe or think. There are many, meanings for this word, yazunnu. Imperfect word, fail mudare, ulaika is the demonstrative pronoun, ismu ishara. The second part, annahum mabusun. Annahum, anna is that. Yeah, this is a particle, harf. When we say ashadu anna, Muhammad Rasulullah, that we are saying that Muhammad is the messenger of Allah, is the Rasul of Allah. Yeah, so that anna, whom is they, harf and damir muttasil. Mabusun will be resurrected. That is ism marfu. Let's go to the explanation. Allah yazunnu ulaika annahum mabusun. Do they not think that they will be resurrected? Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala warns those who give short measure, expressing astonishment, that is surprise, at their situation and how they persist in wrongdoing, expressing wonder at the attitude adopted by the Mutafifeen. These Mutafifeen, after some time they become very bold. After some time, as I told you, the first time they're a bit worried. They're very shaky. Second time, third time, fourth time. So, they will think, shall I do it or not? But because of their base desire, they do it. So after few times they have cheated people. I'm not just talking about weights and measures. Whatever type of cheating you're doing, then what happens? It becomes a norm. That's okay. It's okay. I'm doing this from 10 years. So what's the big deal? Why you are, shouting at me? Everybody is doing in the department, and I'm also doing it. All my friends are doing. I'm also doing it. What's the big deal? Why you are shouting? What are you talking about? The day of judgment hour. So this is the attitude. It goes very, very, very strong. And then that person will have a seal from Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala as a muttafif. Because muttafif, if somebody has cheated once and then he asks forgiveness from Allah, he is not a muttafif. Only when he is not asking forgiveness from Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, keep on repeating the same sin again and again and again, then he will get a branding from Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala as a muttafif in this case. They deny judgment day, not in their beliefs, but in their behavior by cheating people. Why I'm saying this? Not in their, belief, because many people, they're doing salah, they're doing zakah, they go to Hajj, they do everything. They do everything. Plus, they're doing cheating also. You see, for such people, it is in their behavior by cheating people. And they think, no, it's okay. I have done this, last 10 months. So now I'm going to Hajj, everything is clear. And there's a very strong belief I have heard from many people when we go to Hajj, it's like clearing the slate or clearing, nowadays they say, the memory card or whatever. And that's okay, I can clear everything. No, you cannot clear everything. This is not like the belief of the disbelievers. Our belief when we go to Hajj, first of all, Hajj is not for that. Hajj is one of the farj, one of the faraid, one of the pillars of Islam. You have to perform Hajj as you are performing Hajj. No bargains. You are not going to do a business with Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Ya Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, all the way I have come from this country, 5,000 miles, 10,000 miles, and now I'm handing over you all my crimes, all my bad deeds, my sins. You clear me, and I'm an innocent person now. Really? And what happens when you come back after 2 months? Again, you are back to the same thing. Then it is not a Hajj. There's no dealing, there's no business with Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. You can't do that. You can't do that. Really, if you want to change, yes, you can change. Even without telling Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, without promising Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, without asking for, clear the slate. And then, no, just change yourself. When you go to Hajj, submit, to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala properly, ask forgiveness properly, Allah will forgive you. That's how you should do it. And never go back into the same, the activities which we were doing before. What makes them have the, audacity to give short measure is their lack of belief in the last day. This is, true. If government is not even watching you, yeah, government is turning a blind eye on you. They say, yeah, Hussein is a big man, just forgive him, don't worry about him. So he keeps on doing that. But if somebody does not even believe that on the day of judgment you have to stand in front of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, they'll continue doing this. Only behave this way because there is something fundamentally missing in their faith. So I think there's a little bit of explanation about what is missing, something from their faith we'll discuss inshallah. Yeah, in the next class, because our time is up. I'm going to stop it here. I'll continue next Sunday, same time, inshallah. Wa akhir dawana. Alhamdulillahi Rabbil Alameen. Subhanallahi wa bihamdihi. Subhanakallahumma wa bihamdika. Nashhadu an la ilaha illa anta nastaghfiruka wa natubu ilaik.